Hey, good evening. Hey, I'm Rick Butler from Butler Homestead, from the Butler's Homestead. And we're glad you're here with us tonight. We've got something a little bit different. I'm not running around outside with a ball cap on talking about rabbits or talking about kiddie swimming pools and all this kind of stuff like this. But I've got some things we want to show you tonight that I believe will help you and your family and in the days to come. And so I got my friend in crime right here. She's with us. Alice is with us tonight. She is our technical advisor, and might as well start out and make a little laugh on it. Hey, see what we got? Got me a cup of coffee to drink. You see that big 2 on here? She said I've already showed y'all. If you've already seen this 2, raise your hand. I didn't see any hands go up. That's only one hand. Okay, but what this was, years ago I used to donate blood a lot, and after some medical procedures I don't do that anymore. But this is my 2-gallon club coffee mug. I gave 2 gallons of blood over the years, and all I got was a 2 coffee cup. 2-gallon coffee. Well, I'm proud of it because it saved some lives. But anyway, we were going to have some fun with that tonight. But we've got some things we want to share, and she's going to be here to help me keep me on track, and because we know that things are getting bad. We got some reports today. Listen to some reports from how that inflation is getting higher.
Have y'all noticed?
Yeah, as you know, sometimes there's this word called duh. You know, did we ever hear about it? Yes, we've heard about inflation. We've heard about the cost of groceries keep going up and keep going up and keep going up, but our salaries keep getting either the same or lower and lower. We did hear a good thing today, that coming up the first of the year, there's going to be a Social Security benefit that they're going to increase our Social Security bring home, or the Social Security, so it'll be able to help us. And imagine this, they're going to give us less than 9% increase, which that's a miracle in itself, that we're going to get 9%. But then when groceries go up 10, 15, 20%, every little bit helps, though, doesn't it? But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, because we're hearing things like that about how that gasoline is going to be going up. There's all kind of things you hear. You don't know. I don't know what to believe in all of it. I just keep praying and having the Lord to show me the thing that I need to do and how to make our things go good for us as we work toward his soon coming. You say, well, if he's coming, why are you doing all these things that you're doing? Because he says, get ready. All through here, he's telling us examples of what we should be doing. And he even gave the children of Israel a warning to go gather some food up because they were going to cross the Jordan. They didn't want them to get over there with no food, so they get their food. So tonight...
And they also got their silver and gold from the Israelites.
Yeah.
From the Egyptians.
Right,
yeah.
Sure did. Mm-hmm. And then later on, when they got ready to cross the Jordan to go into Jericho, to be able to conquer Jericho, they had to go get some food together then too. So there's always saying something about getting things ready. Well, tonight, we're going to take just a few minutes here and try to give you some tips on, I guess we could call this 5 tips towards surviving, because it's all a matter of surviving coming up, because if the grid goes down, you're sitting in the dark. You know, we won't be able to use our phones like we're using. We're not going to be able to call people. You won't have, your televisions aren't going to work. Your Wi-Fi is not going to work, because if the grid goes out, nothing's going to work. You say, well, I've got some solar generators. Amen. That's a grand thing.
That's right.
We'd like to get one too, but you know, those things get kind of pricey, and we're working on ours too, just like everybody else. But tonight I want to share with you at least 5 things that we believe, and I believe, that is very important for you as a homesteader, or as an individual who maybe you live by yourself. You might have small farm, maybe you just live in the suburbs, but you have a little garden spot. We used to call them postage stamp gardens. Small ones, you could grow a bunch of stuff into it. But some people have a lot more than that, some have a little. But these things can all pertain to all of us at one time. So 5 things here I want to share with you kind of briefly. Hopefully you already have got some of these working. If you don't, hopefully this will be a stimulus for you so that you can be prepared. So I made myself a note. So these are not in any order of which one's more important than the other one, but I think one of the things that are most important, and here it is, if you want to write this down, what are you going to do for water? You say, well, you can't turn on the faucet. You say, well, my well, I got water in the well, but if it's a pump, if it's a deep water pump, or deep well, when the electricity goes off, you don't have any water. So what are you going to do? I tell you what you can start doing now. Number one is that you need to start saving water. Now, have you ever seen a jug like this? Well, used to have vinegar in it. One of the big box stores has vinegar in bottles this big. So what we do, and I would encourage you to do this, start saving up water. You can do it in gallon jugs like this. If you get vinegar when you run out of water or run out of vinegar, go ahead and rinse that thing out and wash it a little bit, then fill it up full of water and set it in some place out of the way so you got a gallon of water ready. Now, one of the things you could do, not just gallon of water, that's pretty good big. You say, wow, I don't drink a gallon in a day. You will, because just think, your coffee percolator's not going to work if it's electric. Well, how are you going to make coffee? How are you going to do this and that and the other? Well, number one, you got to make sure that you got water. Yeah. You can live without food a long time, but you got to have water. And any way you can do it. We're working on ours. We have a problem we're working on. We have a 4-inch well, and it gives us over 300 feet deep, and it excellent water. But if the electricity goes off, we don't have any water. We're in the process of trying to remedy that so that we'll have some way of being able to pump up water so we'll have water on our side. But you can do other things too. If you got grandkids and they drink a lot of pop in plastic bottles, wash and rinse those things out, fill them up full of water, and set them over somewhere. We got our grandson, as I told you, has just went and joined the Army. Matter of fact, he's getting shipped out tomorrow. And we're excited for him. But one of the things when he was here, before he left, he was drinking pop left and right. And he's probably wishing he hadn't have now with all this running he's about to do. But he saved all of those pop bottles and he washed them out for us. We filled them up full of water and we've got them stashed away. Gallon water. Now, you say, will it still be good? Just in case it's not, if you have some way to boil water, go ahead and boil your water. Build you a fire outside, boil some water. You don't have to drink it out of the plastic things, but you can store it in them because water is water. You're going to need some of it. So work out some way that you can have water through a well or some way, but start putting some water away somewhere. It hadn't been too long ago when I'd go to Walmart or some of the department stores, I'd pick up a 24-bottle pack of water, set it back, and just keep doing that. You say, well, that takes up a lot of space. Well, you know what? If you're thirsty, you're going to be glad you did. You got to think, number one, the thing that you keep and work toward getting is water. It's so important. Water is life, and you need to work towards that. And I'd encourage you to do that. Just start with it tonight. All right, number two. Number two is something that you're going to need too besides water. You're going to need some food. You say, well, I just can't afford to buy a whole lot of food as a prepper and putting things back on cabinets and just making a big store. Well, I want to share you something. Growing up, I believe everybody, and I heard somebody else talking about this, that in my growing up days, one of the things that my dad used to get us when we would go camping or fishing or something, he would always get us sardines. You say, oh, I couldn't eat sardines. If you're hungry, I tell my grandkids, they would say, oh, I just don't think I could eat that. Well, if you're hungry, you will eat it. But it's a good source of protein. It's good for you. It's loaded with all kind of good stuff that everybody needs if you're going to be eating sardines. Sardines is not that. You say, well, why are you showing me sardines? Well, when you go to the grocery store every week, one of the things maybe you ought to think about doing is that you've got your grocery list planned out and you've got you about a half a cart full of things that you're going to get. Why don't you just take the time and put an extra jar of peanut butter in your cart just as a stash to set it back? Also, You might want to decide you can find organic things at Walmart and things like that. You could get tomatoes in a can. You can these sweet peas, and they are very good sweet peas. And these are all organic things. So you can do those things. You say, well, I can't afford all that. It's not much when you do it one trip at a time. You just start doing it, and you can imagine, I showed you 4 things here that you can get. You go to the grocery store 2 or 3 times, and every time you do, you go ahead and you'll spend less than $10 on these 4 products right here that I showed you. Or it might be anything else you want to, 4 things or 5 things or whatever. But you come in and you look, by the time you've made 3 or 4 trips to the grocery store, you've picked up a dozen to 16 different items that you can put. That starts your stash off. And you can start doing that. And every week, when you go to the grocery store, pick up something. And do you have anything you want to say about it?
No, you're doing good.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying. She's my moral support, and she keeps punching me.
I do not.
Oh, but now I have to add one thing. You say, well, all these things are important to eat, and they are. Organic peanut butter, fantastic food. High proteins, good for you. Sardines are good for you. There's all kind of salmon you can buy. You can tuna in a can, chicken in a can. You might be preserving your own things. And I mean, we grow our own meat here on the farm. And at the homestead, what we do is most of the time, if we grow extra chickens, those roosters, you only need 1 rooster. But if you got a whole pile of roosters when these biddies raise off, next thing you know, you invite them to come to freezer camp. And you have a lot of chicken you can stick away, either freeze. But now you got to remember something. If you put this stuff in your freezer and the power goes out, things are going to start to defrost. So you have to work on either you need a solar generator, or if you want a gas generator, whatever generator you want, or something that will get there. Or you can do like we're doing on a lot of things, and we are putting we grow rabbits, okay? They're meat rabbits. They're not pet rabbits. They're meat rabbits. And what we can do is we put those in wide mouth canning jars, and it's a good meat that'll last a long time on the shelf. But you say, well, I don't know if I could do that. Well, you could if you're hungry. If you begin to think really serious. But now you say, well, I got to have some type of pleasurable thing. I just thinking all about all this bad stuff going on. It makes me hungry. Well, you know what? You go buy these 4 things that I showed you, or whatever 4 things you want, or any way you want to do it. But then there's one thing, and I saw this the other day. Oh, and we bought some at an auction just for today, just for this.
No.
M&M's. Whoa, melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Oh, you remember
it's a
that?
lie.
Oh, it is a lie.
Yes.
Let me tell you, it'll melt in your hand just the way it will in your mouth. But whether it's the best or not, I don't know. But sometimes you need some pleasurable things and just to enjoy. So this is one of the items. You got water coming, you got food coming, and I tell you, there's another thing that you need. Oh, it's been now maybe a month, 2 months ago, we did a video here on seed savings, and hearing a lot about that. We've been, more and more folks are talking about seed saving and how important it is, and all the different things and the problems that people had with seeds this year is unbelievable. In all my years of planting gardens, this is the first time I've heard so much problem with certain seeds. So what you need to do, if you want to now, I can't make you do it. I can't tell you which seeds to do, but you need to start thinking seed saving. The next time you go to the grocery store and you buy something that is an organic product, I would encourage you to buy organic, better for you, tastes better, and it just might cost a little bit more. But if you can get some different produce or something, save some of the seeds out of there. They've got certain videos now that you can get online that it'll show you everything to do about every kind of seeds. And we have all kind of seeds. We've been saving them.
I had started several avocado trees a few years ago. And I had 35 kiwi plants at one time. Had those for about 3 years, and the avocado trees too. They never got big enough to give us fruit from them, but And we did lose them during the freeze.
Well, we had
So
some problems. I
yeah.
had some medical problems
Right.
during that time, and we were not able to do all the things that we were needing.
Cover them up and stuff. So anyway, so we lost all of them. But the thing about it is you can start plants from the seeds that you get from the store. We had bought organic avocados, and we had bought organic kiwis. And, matter of fact, we've got 2 onions growing right now outside where we had bought an onion. And actually, this is just a little thing that I'll throw in when we feel like there's colds and stuff going around the area, illnesses. I cut up onions and set onions around. Onions supposedly absorb bacteria and viruses. So we always put those around, and we believe that.
Oh,
because
I do.
we very seldom ever get sick. Did we have COVID? Yes, once. And we were wearing a mask when we got it. So we quit wearing masks. But
it's a mandate, not a law.
right. So anyway, but anyway, those onions work great. So anyway, we took that onion and we stuck it out in some dirt after we finished with it, after it dried up, and it started growing. So now we've got 2 little onions. You can see them.
You remember yesterday on the video, what was, whenever you watched the video before this, one of the things I was sharing with you about kiddie pools and all that is that I asked you about, have you ever grown pineapple yourself? Well, I showed you, if you want to go back and look at the video before this one, it shows you some pictures of some pineapples tops that we put in the ground that are growing now, and we're expecting to have our own homegrown pineapple. If you've never had a homegrown pineapple,
They're delicious.
oh, you won't want any other kind. Yeah. Well, I better move on here.
As
I
a matter
want
of
to
fact,
show
I have
you
another
this.
pineapple on the counter that I've got cut up tonight, and I'll be planting the top. All I do is let the tops dry out for about a week or so, and then I put them in a pot.
But that's it'll help produce food for you.
Yes.
Making plans for the future with that. Now, there's other things that you can find. Now, I'm not supporting this group right here, but it was a thing that I got that helped me.
And they're not supporting us.
And they're not supporting us. It's just us and the Lord. But this is called a bug-out seed bag. And what this is, it has different types of seeds that you can use to plant in your garden. But this would be something on seed saving. You can order these, and they'll send them right out to you. So I would encourage you to do that. If you happen to be in one of the 5 well, I call them 5 and 10s. There's no 5 anymore in the 5 and 10. There's only different places like Family Dollar, Dollar General, places like that. If they still have seeds, they'll have them on sale. Buy you a bunch of seeds. Go only seeds that you think you're going to eat some. Because there's no point in having a bunch of seeds if you're not going to eat it.
Right.
And I'm having to preach to myself because I believe in seeds. I believe in having enough seeds to do the job for you. So make sure that you work real hard on getting some seeds beginning to be saved. And you can do that. Just look up and study how you can do that. Now, number 4. Number 4 is important too. One of the things that you get scratched and cut up and somebody steps on something or scratches their leg, you need to get yourself a first aid kit. Now, this is well, I say it's not real old, but it's more than a few years old. Johnson & Johnson medicine kit, not just supporting a Johnson & Johnson, but they've got all kind of stuff. They got Band-Aids and rubber gloves and tweezers and first aid packets and all that. You need to get you a first aid kit because one of the things
And really, you don't have to actually buy a first aid kit per se.
Right.
Just all the things that you need for first aid.
And then make your own kit out of it.
Yeah.
Get you a box. Because I'm going to tell you, once you start getting everything you need for medicines, and I don't encourage you to get a lot of over-the-counter medicines. There's all kind of things. Matter of fact, I'm going to get ahead of myself right here. But we talked about a medicine kit, but there's something right here that I was going to show you. You need to find some books. You need to get books. Start collecting books. This is on natural remedies for problems that you have. It's over 1,000 natural remedies in this book. We have a library with a whole lot of different books on different things on how to survive, how to do things, how to treat medicines, even to the point of herbal medicines, how you know some things. We were getting some things today. We picked them up. We're going to be drying them overnight tonight.
Goldenrod.
Goldenrod. You say, oh, that stuff make you sneeze stuff. No, it won't. No, it won't. It's what grows around it that makes it. The goldenrod just stands out now. You go look up and study goldenrod and you'll find out there's not a whole lot that's going to bother you from a goldenrod, but it'll help you.
It's the ragweed that makes you.
Ragweed.
Has the allergies.
But you can get books like this. You know that you can get not just books like for this, but you can get other books on how to do home canning. But you need a library of different things that'll help you. How to recognize weeds growing outside. Who would have thought that you would have thought goldenrod, this weed that grows everywhere, has a lot of medicinal properties to it that'll help you. I mean, it'll do everything from helping your kidneys. It'll do all kind of things.
Fights inflammation.
Fights inflammation. Mm-hmm. There's all kind of things. But you can go look up those things, but you need a library. Now, when the electricity goes out or you don't, your phone's dead, your TV's dead, nothing happens, and you can't pick anything up, you're going to need something to read. You're going to need to find some books. You say, well, I don't know if I can do all of these things. I've got so many just books. Where? Well, you need to get some for your kids too. They need to learn about this stuff. Mm-hmm. Bible story books you can order. You can find those at yard sales. Oh, yes. We've gone into yard sales and got books, and we've ordered books, and you can get them real cheap most of the time. And so why don't you see about getting you a few books? Start your library, whether it's about remedies, how to recognize weeds and what medicinal purposes they have. And there's another one I would encourage you to get. Now, I get this one myself, and I don't mind telling you who it is. You ever seen Mother Earth News before? You need to get all of these. And we brag on one thing. We've got, let's see, I don't know how many this is. Oh, they've been doing these for a long time.
Since the 1970s.
About 1970, 71. And we've got issue number 1. And we've got most of all of them. We've got just a few that we don't have. But these are such a wonderful thing on how to grow everything. This month tell you about how to do hothouses, how to have, what do you do with your autumn harvest? There's one on bees. How do you attract bees? We've got to have bees. You need books. You need books from the library. Now, if you go to the library and check out books on this, make sure you return them now. You're borrowing them. But best thing to do is go out and find them at yard sales and any type of little thrift stores. You can go in there and they got books. We've gone to a local thrift store and find books that go in the library because they're so helpful. You can find books for your children too and your grandchildren on helping them how to be involved with all these things. Now, that's 5 things, plus the little one I got ahead on the books.
And speaking of the bees,
okay.
You mentioned the bees and stuff with the plants. If you can grow things without using pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, any of that, it's better if you can do it without all of that, because that stuff can harm the bees, kill them actually. A lot of it.
The bee population is not as large as it used to be because of people spraying, killing bugs on. If they just pick out a crop and they spray it to kill the bugs, you know what they're going to do? They're going to kill not only the bugs on the product, but it's also going to kill those innocent little bees that's flying over to get some nectar across the field, and on the way it got sprayed with some of that stuff and we died. And hives have been just died out because of things like that. So you need to do some things to where you can learn how to raise bees maybe, because you got to have honey and you need pollinators. If we kill all the bees, we only got a few years left before there won't be anybody here left, because without bees, you don't have any apples. Nothing produces anything. So you just need the bee. We need the bees. Now, one of the last things I want to tell you, this will be number 6. Well, I better go back and make it 5 because we've already covered the extra number 6 in the books. So now we're back here at number 5. Now, number 5 is very important too. I won't go into too much of a detail, but one of the things that you need to do as a homesteader is that you need to be able to protect your homestead. You say, what are you talking about? Well, you can read through the lines to know here. The government don't want you to know anything about protection. They don't want that. They want to try to keep you from being able to protect yourself. And if you're in a state or somewhere that you feel is so strict that they want to let you have even a hunting rifle to go hunting, maybe you need to say whether or not I need to be there or not. Me, I think that here we're down in Alabama, and we have a very good state when it comes to being able to have protection if it was necessary, because it's built into what we do. And coming the first of the year, it's even going to get better. But there's a lot of them. Find out what works in your state, in your local area, and then figure out what you need to protect your homestead. And moms and dads, protecting your children and your livestock. We heard something not too long ago. A man was driving by and he looked over and one of his cows had been shot and killed, and they didn't do anything at all. They didn't get it for meat. They just shot the cow. Now, why would you do something like that? People are nuts. They're out there now. But you need some way of protecting. And I won't go into any detail on that, but you know what I'm talking about, to be able to protect your family and your livelihood and your homestead. Because, the Bible tells us we need to take care of our families or we're worse than an infidel. So we need to take care of our families. And that's something you need to write down and own these things right here. Some way of protecting. Now I could go through, and this list is endless, but these are a few things which I felt like that was real important, is that you'd really got to have some way of using water, keeping water, storing water, some way or another. You need to start doing it now, squirrel them away somewhere. But food, if you go, every time you go to the grocery store, remember, just buy 4 to 5 things worth of extra little canned goods of something and put them on the shelf somewhere, and you'd be surprised after a couple of months how many extra cans of food you have for something. So just go ahead and see what you can do about those things. Don't forget to seed save. You got to save some seeds. There's got to be some, not only for this year, but for next year. You got to don't ever plant all of your seeds. Save some of those seeds in case the seeds you got, something happens. A bug got into them. But you keep some of those seeds and keep adding them to your seeds every year. Don't forget the medicine kit. It's important for Band-Aids and things, because children are going to hurt themselves. You can buy a lot of money, or you can get inexpensive medicine kits. But do what you feel that you have to do for your family and protection and for your well-being. And then last, don't forget, protection. It's an important thing. And our little extra that I gave you, start collecting these books. Look what you can find on how to do certain things. So I don't know how to garden. There are books everywhere on how to garden. You can go on YouTube and you can look up, just put in there homesteading or gardening, and there'll be all kind of videos on how to do certain things in gardens and all that. Well, folks, listen, I've just been trying to help you to do the best that we can. This is different from what the videos that I have been making. And to let you know, we got more rabbits due coming up Monday. Today is Thursday, but we got some coming up on my birthday, coming up on the 17th of October. Got my birthday coming in. Gonna have some baby rabbits due that day too. Listen, we're having fun. We're enjoying what we're doing. We're going to be giving you some more good videos. And if I hear anything real good that I need to share with you, that I believe is some information that can help you and your family, I'll be sending it to you. I'll be sharing this with you. So keep an eye on things. Keep listening, keep working, and keep planning, because really, like on the Butler Homestead, this is where we're going to stay. We're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. God gave us this place. We're going to stay here with it. So listen, God bless y'all, and we appreciate y'all listening to our videos. Don't forget now, and you stayed with me through this whole thing. Now what I need you to do is go ahead and subscribe right down at the bottom. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and then do a thumbs up that you liked it, if you liked it. If you don't like it, tell us about it. But we want you to thumbs up and likes it, and then we want you just to be as vigilant as you can about doing these things. And if you have to, hit that little bell and we'll remind you. But don't forget, and then real important, one of the things that probably one of the best things you can do for us on the videos is to share it with your friends. all over the place. You just share this video with your friends and tell them don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell. Thumbs up.
And you know, as far as your where you live, it doesn't matter whether you have a bunch of acreage or if you have just a small house in the city or a small piece of land in the city. You know what? That is your land. You know, I wouldn't even call it my property. I would say my land. You know, this is your land. God gave you that land while you are here on this earth. And he wants you to be able to use it to the best of your ability. And with his help, we'll do it. We'll do it. We're just going to make this land beautiful.
Amen.
And with all of his plants that he has given us. So you just fix that land up.
We're going to leave it better than the way you found it.
Yeah, that's right.
God loves you.
That's right.
He loves us. And we just pray that God blesses you and your family at the homestead.
Amen.
And we'll be having another video along. Just keep watching for us. We love you.
Yeah.
God bless you. And you have a good evening.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Turn out.